actually lizards. Who, I mean, literally, there's people that think they're lizards from outer space.
Yeah, that's true.
Who eat human flesh. I don't know if anybody's ever asked you directly, sir, but are you a lizard?
I don't think
Are
he's a
you
lizard.
actually? Can you just please give that a straight answer? Are you a lizard person?
Louis a little left-leaning,
No,
sir.
I'm not. Let him answer. Are you a lizard?
Here's the short answer. I'm in New York City. I walk down the street. People walk up, shake hands, stop me. They want an autograph.
He's a lizard.
Want to get a photograph with me. Go to eat last night at dinner, and Joyce and I were sitting there in the little Italian restaurant. and a man came up and said he'd like to buy my dinner, and I refused. And it turns out I paid for my dinner. The next thing I know, the waiter comes back and said the man insisted to pay for your dinner, and here's your canceled receipt for paying.
Oh, wow, that's very
See,
nice.
there's plenty of people that...
But
You didn't answer the question.
He's not going to
I think you're
dignify...
hanging around with the wrong people.
He's not going to dignify an answer to, are you a lizard, Louis?
Why not?
Because he's not a lizard.
What is the story about getting somebody paid for your dinner? I would pay for a lizard's dinner.
I think I understood the fact that there are people out there that appreciate what he's done as a leader. And
there's plenty of evidence that this guy is a well-decorated and appreciated American. And he has more credibility than almost anybody.
Exactly.
But I just want to know if he's a lizard.
He's not a lizard. Stop it. I want to apologize, Mr. Rumsfeld. Louis C.K. is a stand-up comedian, and I do not share his ideology one iota.
Matter of fact, we're meeting him for the first time. We don't even really know him. So we apologize.
Exactly.
It's usually just me and Anthony, but we said, what the hell, we'll try out this local comedy.
Mr. Rumsfeld, I want to ask you a little bit about the situation that's going on now in the Middle East. You are an envoy to the Middle East. What do you see happening there? What's your take on the whole situation?
Well, I think what's happening is that we had good relations with many of the governments in there, in that region, and it was contributing to a stable situation that you can have a popular protest and revolution, and the winner is not the people that are looking for greater opportunity. The winner often is a minority group that is very disciplined, very well organized, and very vicious.
Listen,
like Hezbollah in Lebanon, or like the Ayatollahs in Iran.
Yeah.
So you could get the Muslim Brotherhood.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Radical extremists.
Exactly.
Over Egypt, which would be terribly dangerous.
Absolutely.
Listen, and these are great questions, Anthony, and they're questions that Mr. Rumsfeld is going to answer better than almost anybody in the world.
Yeah.
But I still want to know if he's a lizard. And if he is,
stop it.
If he's tasted human flesh.
No, stop.
I just want to know.
Mr. Rumsfeld, again, I want to apologize for Louis C.K. He's a stand-up comedian. He's playing at the Borgata.
It's
go to
a legitimate.
Borgata.com.
Look, if he's a lizard who has eaten people,
don't encourage him. It'll just make him worse.
See,
I will stop the
Mr.
second I
Rumsfeld.
get a denial. I'll stop asking.
Tell Louis that my grandchildren are listening.
See?
Well, listen, they have a right to know, too.
No, he's not a lizard, and he's not tasted human flesh.
But you're answering. That's easy for you to say.
I can answer because I know the guy is a great American, a great patriot.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
He's done great things for this country. And
yes, Anthony. Is he a lizard? Is Dick Cheney a lizard?
No, they're not. They are people.
Any Mexican babies? Have they eaten any human beings?
Stop it. Stop it. I know. Mr. Rumsfeld, I apologize. Louis C.K.
I paid for this microphone, mister.
He's
I
trying
want
to
an
be
answer.
Funny. I don't understand it. Where do you see the where do you see the 2012 elections going? Do you see the Republicans taking the White House again? And who do you see as maybe a good front runner for the Republicans?
You know, I don't think there is one. I think it's one of those rare times when there's not an incumbent president running and there's not a vice president running and there's not an obvious person. And I think what we ought to do is watch them run around the track a while and see how they handle things. It's a tough job, as President Obama is finding out. It's a lot easier to campaign than
exactly.
And so I think we ought to watch all these candidates. There's some terrific ones running, and I think some of them have executive experience. Some of them have a lot of legislative experience. And see how they handle. Because what's going to happen is they're going to get asked tough questions. They're going to get put in difficult positions. And we're going to then be able to see how their brains work, how they react, how they handle things, what kind of people they recruit for their campaign team, how effective they are in organizing. And all of those are attributes that are helpful for a president.
Before the Lizard Council meets
all right,
and decides
Louis,
who to appoint.
The Lizard Council doesn't appoint a president, and he's not part of the Lizard Council.
If they do, don't you want to know?
No.
Don't you at least want to give him a chance to say, no, I'm not a lizard?
I don't want to picture Donald Rumsfeld on the other end of this phone listening to you asking
with red lizard
questions.
eyes.
No, he's not with Mr. Rumsfeld.
We have to deal with people who aren't perfect on occasion.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to tell Louis.
And then, so how many guys do you think you've met that died by hanging?
Oh, Jesus.
That's a good question.
Yeah, more than one.
Yeah.
More than one.
More than one, see?
Yeah. I've never met anybody I met a girl who hung herself. But I've never met anybody who was sentenced to hang.
He's had to deal with thugs during his career at some point.
Sure.
He's, the world. And a lot of people judge things, I've noticed, Mr. Rumsfeld, a lot of people judge things based on what's going on now. They don't take it in the context of the history and what was going on at the time. Now, during the Cold War, I think we were willing, as Americans and the press, to accept a lot more covert action on the part of the government for our own safety than we are now. Do you think that's a better thing, that there's so much more information available now, or is it a kind of a good thing for the government to have maybe a little bit of a little more covertness in their actions?
Oh, I think you're right. I think that we live in a world where there are relatively few countries that are like we are.
Yeah.
We have free political systems, and that means that we have got to have intelligence gathering activities if we're going to protect the American people.
Exactly.
But American safety is like the biggest deal to us. American defense. We've got to keep the American people safe. But what if a whole lot of people in other places have to die in order for us to be safe? Like, what if you found out that a lot of America was going to get hurt unless we just took France and just wiped it out? Would you trade France?
Hypothetical.
Would you trade France for Texas and Arizona?
Can you imagine if I answered that question?
Thank you.
What the news lead would be?
Exactly.
It would be like the answering your earlier question, where I would deny that I'm something that you asked me.
Right. He's not going to deny he's a lizard.
But he hasn't officially denied it.
What would be hurt by denying that you're a lizard?
I did not just arrive in town falling off a turnip.
There are no turnip carts in New York City.
Well, he didn't fall off of one.
No,
regardless.
I totally understand. But no, that's fascinating to me. What would be hurt by denying? And I'm not going to ask you to deny it now. I'm more interested in what would be hurt if you denied that you're a lizard.
He's justifying the question.
Sorry, I brought it up. I apologize.
No.
But I mean, we like to think that we're a comedy show, so we're just kind of asking a silly question.
But that is fascinating to me.